P. Diddy stunned the world when he walked into court, not in a jail jumpsuit, but a simple tan sweater. What happened next left fans and critics speechless as shocking secrets behind his empire were finally revealed. The night was unusually dark for Manhattan, with clouds hiding the faint glow of city lights. P. Diddy, the music mogul whose name had long been synonymous with wealth and influence, was at the center of a storm he could never have anticipated. It began with a single knock at the penthouse door, followed by the blinding glare of flashing police lights outside. Within minutes, uniformed officers and detectives swarmed the building, their presence turning the usually quiet streets into a chaotic scene. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains, cameras rolled from every angle, and social media erupted with speculation. For years, Diddy had cultivated an image of untouchable power, but tonight, that image would be shattered. The arrest itself was sudden and precise. Authorities had spent months preparing, quietly tracing financial transactions, and investigating whispered rumors that had refused to fade. In Diddy's personal office, investigators found a hidden ledger tucked behind a row of luxury awards. Its pages were filled with meticulous entries, coded messages, and unexplained transfers that hinted at a world few could imagine. Each line raised more questions than answers, creating a puzzle that seemed almost impossible to solve. How deep did the operation go? Who were the players involved? And what consequences awaited those entangled in the web? As the handcuffs clicked around his wrists, the public watched in stunned silence. For someone whose life had been broadcast in magazines, music videos, and interviews, this was a fall from grace unlike any other. Cameras captured the rare vulnerability in his expression, a fleeting moment before the composed FOD returned. In that moment, speculation reached a fever pitch. Could Diddy have anticipated this? Was there a deeper conspiracy at play, one that extended far beyond the city's limits? Outside, the streets had become a frenzy of flashing lights and murmuring crowds. Reporters shouted questions that went unanswered, while fans and onlookers tried to make sense of what had happened. The storm of curiosity mirrored the storm in Diddy's own life, a life now exposed to scrutiny, rumor, and relentless investigation. What had seemed like untouchable power was now subject to rules no one could escape. And as the patrol car doors slammed shut, taking Diddy away from his empire, one thing was clear: the story had only just begun. And the twists and secrets hidden in the shadows of his life would soon shock the world even more. Behind the closed doors of the investigation office, the atmosphere was tense and unrelenting. Piles of documents, bank statements, and encrypted files covered every surface, and analysts worked tirelessly to uncover the truth hidden within them. Each discovery seemed to reveal another layer of a complex operation that no one had expected. Transactions traced to shell companies, coded messages in private emails, and unexplained transfers to accounts overseas painted a picture of a network far larger than initially imagined. Investigators began to realize this was not just a case of financial mismanagement or tax evasion. It was a carefully orchestrated web of deception, designed to conceal actions from even the closest associates. One ledger, discovered late one night, drew particular attention. Its pages contained a series of numbers and abbreviations, alongside names that were both famous and unfamiliar. Analysts painstakingly cross-referenced each entry, tracing every movement of money, every meeting, and every unexplained expense. Patterns began to emerge, hinting at a network that spanned continents, with connections reaching into industries, entertainment, and private business ventures. Every lead brought new questions: who was aware, who had turned a blind eye, and who might be willing to cooperate to avoid exposure. The deeper the investigation went, the more dangerous it became. Evidence started disappearing, files vanished from secure servers, and key witnesses hesitated to speak. Anonymous threats reached staff members, warning them to drop the case or face consequences. For the first time, investigators realized they were not merely untangling financial crimes, they were navigating a dangerous maze filled with power, influence, and potentially violent retaliation. Every step forward was met with resistance, and the pressure to uncover the truth grew heavier. Meanwhile, the public followed every headline with mounting fascination. The story of P. Diddy, once admired for his music and charisma, was now a cautionary tale about the limits of power. Speculation ran rampant about the scope of the alleged network, and social media debates fanned the flames of curiosity. As investigators worked behind the scenes, carefully connecting dots and piecing together the hidden machinery of the operation, it became clear that the case would not only define Diddy's life but also leave a lasting mark on how authorities approached high-profile financial crimes. The tension was palpable, the stakes immense, and the world was about to witness revelations that would change everything they thought they knew. The courtroom was packed, every seat filled with journalists, fans, and curious onlookers, each eager to witness a chapter in a saga that had captivated the nation. Diddy entered calmly, exuding a composed confidence that contrasted sharply with the chaos surrounding the trial. Cameras flashed relentlessly, capturing his every step, every measured glance, as if the world were watching. Not just a man on trial, but a symbol of power brought low. The case had grown far beyond financial misconduct. It had become a story of influence, secrets, and a complex network that challenged the very notion of accountability. Prosecutors laid out a meticulous case. They presented a timeline of covert transactions, secret meetings, and encrypted communications that suggested Diddy had orchestrated a sophisticated operation over years. Each piece of evidence seemed damning: offshore accounts, unreported transfers, and connections to individuals who vanished from public view under mysterious circumstances. The courtroom gasped at revelations that blurred the line between legal and criminal, as each new detail painted a portrait of a man both admired and feared. Yet, even as the evidence mounted, Diddy's defense remained strategic and calculated. Attorneys highlighted inconsistencies in witness accounts, gaps in financial records, and missing documentation that could undermine the prosecution's claims. Each objection, each counterpoint, forced the jury and the public to reconsider what they believed they knew. The tension was relentless, with both sides navigating a high-stakes game where one misstep could decide the fate of a figure who had long seemed untouchable. As the trial progressed, unexpected twists emerged. Witnesses who were thought to be crucial turned silent. Evidence previously thought lost resurfaced in surprising ways. And investigators uncovered hints of additional players in the network whose identities were unknown. Each revelation heightened suspense, making it clear that the story was far from straightforward. The courtroom became a stage for power, strategy, and the unfolding drama of secrets revealed. Outside, public fascination grew. Social media exploded with speculation, debates, and theories about the trial's outcome. Headlines shifted daily as new details emerged, feeding a collective obsession with the case. By the time closing arguments were made, it was evident that this trial was more than a legal proceeding. It was a gripping saga of ambition, deception, and resilience. The world watched, holding its breath, as the story of P. Diddy, once untouchable, now under scrutiny, unfolded in ways no one could have predicted, setting the stage for a dramatic sentencing that would leave a lasting impression on all who witnessed it. The day of the sentencing arrived with a tension that could be felt in every corner of the city. News helicopters circled overhead as crowds gathered outside the courthouse, a mix of curious onlookers, reporters, and fervent fans. Inside, the courtroom was silent, every eye fixed on P. Diddy as he walked in, not in the expected jail jumpsuit, but in a simple tan sweater that immediately drew whispers and speculation. The choice seemed deliberate, a subtle signal that he was facing the outcome on his own terms, with a calm confidence that few could match. Cameras focused relentlessly, capturing the contrast between the spectacle outside and the composed figure inside. The proceedings began slowly, each word measured and heavy with consequence. The judge reviewed the evidence, the testimonies, and the intricate network that had been unveiled over the course of the trial. The room seemed to hold its breath as the verdict was read. Some charges, previously thought to be airtight, had been reduced or dismissed due to newly uncovered evidence and procedural nuances. Others were upheld, marking significant consequences that even Diddy could not avoid. The combination of relief and tension created a nearly cinematic moment, as the courtroom absorbed every detail of a story that had unfolded over months. Outside, the atmosphere mirrored the drama inside. Fans and critics debated the outcome, while social media exploded with reactions and speculation. Some praised the fairness of the legal system, while others questioned how someone of Diddy's stature could navigate such a complex case. The tan sweater became a symbol, dissected by commentators and fans alike. Many interpreted it as a statement and emblem of dignity, resilience, or perhaps a quiet rebellion against the expectations of public scrutiny. Every photograph, every video clip captured the moment in ways that would echo far beyond the courthouse walls. The sentencing also revealed unexpected twists. Hidden evidence that had been withheld until the final moments influenced certain decisions, surprising even seasoned legal analysts. For Diddy, the outcome was not just about the charges, it was about control, perception, and how the story of his life would be remembered. The room seemed to hum with the weight of consequences, yet also with the possibility of a new beginning. As he exited the courtroom, the sense of drama lingered, a reminder that in the world of power, influence, and secrecy, every ending is also a beginning. The public would continue to watch, fascinated by what came next, while the courtroom itself became a permanent snapshot of a moment that would define an era in both celebrity and crime. In the weeks following the sentencing, the story refused to fade from the headlines. Investigators continued their work, uncovering hidden accounts, small accomplices, and previously unknown connections that extended far beyond what anyone had anticipated. Each new revelation added layers to the already complex case, proving that Diddy's empire had been entangled with a network of influence and secrecy that reached across cities and continents. Journalists and the public followed every update with fascination, analyzing every detail, every transfer, and every connection, as if piecing together a global puzzle. Meanwhile, Diddy retreated from the glaring spotlight, choosing discretion over spectacle. Behind the scenes, he quietly rebuilt his personal and professional life, focusing on ventures that combine legitimate business, charity, and careful public appearances. The tan sweater he had worn at sentencing became a symbol not just of dignity, but of resilience, a visual marker of a man who had faced immense scrutiny and survived. Analysts debated endlessly whether this period marked a turning point, a redefinition of his image, or a calculated step toward regaining control of his narrative. The public, too, was left to grapple with the implications. Fans and critics alike debated what the case revealed about power, fame, and accountability. The story served as a cautionary tale. No one, regardless of influence or wealth, is immune to investigation. At the same time, it demonstrated the complexities of high-profile cases, where legal, financial, and personal realms intersect in unpredictable ways. Even as attention shifted to other news, echoes of the trial persisted in social media discussions, podcasts, and documentaries, keeping the drama alive in public consciousness. For law enforcement and the legal community, the case became a blueprint for approaching similar investigations in the future. The intricacies uncovered during the trial highlighted the importance of following leads, cross-referencing financial patterns, and remaining vigilant even when evidence seems incomplete. Lessons were learned, strategies refined, and vigilance heightened. Ultimately, the saga left an indelible mark on everyone involved. For Diddy, it was a story of survival, adaptation, and navigating consequences with composure. For the public, it was a gripping narrative of fame, secrecy, and the price of power. And for history, the dramatic sentencing in a simple tan sweater became a lasting image, a moment when a larger-than-life figure faced accountability in a world where even the most untouchable can be exposed. The story closed, but its resonance lingered, a reminder of the unexpected twists, the hidden layers, and the enduring fascination with a life lived at the intersection of fame, fortune, and controversy.